Now, desperate to distract America from the investigation, his lack of policy wins, and the Senate healthcare bill that somehow managed to be worse than the House version for anybody who isn't a wealthy 20-year-old, Donald Trump decided to take to Twitter to finally talk about the so-called Comey tapes. Now, what did he say? Well, he basically admitted that he was full of shit. According to the Daily Beast, Trump ended speculation on Thursday about whether he had installed a recording device in the Oval Office and had made tapes of his conversations with former FBI Director James Comey, a possibility he first raised in another tweet back in May. Now, that tweet, of course, said, it said, James Comey better hope there are no tapes of our conversations before he starts leaking to the press. So, of course, that tweet right there, it set everybody off. Everybody went crazy. Oh my God, are there tapes? Are there no tapes? Who made them? Why is the president taping conversations? The former FBI director. I mean, what's going on here? Do you believe that he made them? I mean, why? The other question, of course, is that, is this a threat? And why would somebody make a veiled threat that could bolster a case of possibly obstructing justice? It would be pretty stupid to do. In fact, it was a stupid thing to do because it actually got him investigated. See, look, maybe it works in the business world. And some people have made that point. Like, oh, well, sometimes you have to bullshit. You have to, call somebody's bluff in business dealings. Well, we're not in business. We're in government. It's a completely different thing. And in politics, it actually hurts him a lot more. Now, according to the New York Times, his motives in warning Mr. Comey that he might have taped him remain a mystery, particularly since it set off a chain of events that accelerated rather than slowed the investigation into Mr. Trump and Russia. Mr. Comey testified that it was Mr. Trump's veiled threat of tapes that led him to authorize the disclosure of memos of his conversations with the president, the details of which prompted the Justice Department to appoint a special counsel to look into the case. Now, that is, of course, Robert Mueller, who is actually now looking into this and says that, yes, he is actually he's actually being investigated now. Before he wasn't. And Comey had told him, hey, don't worry, you're not under investigation. After Trump asked him several times, no, you're not under investigation by the FBI. Well, now you are, dumbass. By trying to cover yourself. Look, even if you didn't do anything, you still tried to do something to distract or cover up. And, well, I mean, that makes people very curious. And that's why we have more investigations. But anyway. Now, and by the way, if he didn't do anything and he's just being a dumbass, well then he just shot himself in the foot. He hurt himself more. He got himself into more trouble. So to get himself out, he decided to come clean, but with one simple caveat. He said, on Twitter, I did not make and do not have any such recordings. Now, he said that while he did not make tapes, he suggested that someone else did. Back to the article. According to the Daily Beast, the president might have put forward a new theory. The U.S. intelligence or law enforcement might have had his office bugged. Surveillance. Oh boy. He said, with all the recently reported electronic surveillance, intercepts, unmasking, and illegal leaking of information, I have no idea whether there are tapes or recordings of my conversations with James Comey. So here we go again, right? I don't know. There could be tapes. I mean, I'm the victim here, though. I didn't make those tapes. I wasn't recording James Comey. Maybe they were recording me. I'm the victim here. They bugged my office just like Obama bugged my office. Yeah, but there's no proof of that. You presented zero proof that your office was bugged by Obama. But again, it goes back to this conspiracy, right? Now, that's a stupid move. Just come out and say that there are no tapes. Oh, hey, guys, you know what? Turns out I was actually bluffing. I was trying to call his bluff. Well, why were you trying to call his bluff? What are you trying to hide? Again, you're just creating more and more problems with this. But he can't help himself. He lies continuously over and over again, and he can't stop. The problem is when you keep lying to support another lie, well, eventually that snowballs and actually gets much, much worse from you. So you got to lie about the other lies and cover this lie and cover that lie and then come up with an even more elaborate story. Disaster, right? Disaster. Now, instead of clearing this up and actually coming clean, he comes out with this conspiracy theory, and now his staffers are now in a panic. One White House staffer said of those tweets, quote, "No clue what the thinking was. He could have just said there are no tapes. It's baffling, frankly." Wait, thinking? You know, he doesn't think. The guy's an idiot. No, he's not thinking about this stuff. He gets up at 3 in the morning and he fires off a bunch of ridiculous tweets. That's what he does, because he doesn't think. He's not a smart person, okay? Despite what he says, he's not a smart person. Not when it comes to this stuff, man. Now, there's more. Informed of the president's denial that he had recorded his conversations with Comey, a senior administration official replied, "At least that's behind us." When alerted to his apparent suspicions of Oval Office surveillance, the official replied in a text message, "FML." Now, if you're not sure what that means, it means fuck my life. The guy's an idiot, man. What a monumentally stupid person. Okay, to do this. And his own staff, they're pulling their hair out. They're like, why would you do that? Just say that there are no tapes. Just say that there are no tapes. But Donald Trump, he can't be wrong. He can't be wrong. He can't apologize. He can't go back on something and admit, oh, no, I was actually bullshitting you. I was actually lying about this for some reason. He can't do that. He's got to dig himself deeper. He's digging himself a hole. He's digging himself a hole. And again, his staffers are going insane. I mean, you think the White House is going to admit that they messed up? No, absolutely not. And in fact, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked about this and about his allegations of wiretap. Sanders said, she suggested that law enforcement authorities would have to answer to whether they had the President of the United States under surveillance. Don't ask me, man. I don't know. Ask them. Quote, "I think those are questions you'd have to ask the law enforcement agencies. There's public record that talks about surveillance, that talks about unmasking. We know those practices take place. I don't know specifically if there's a direct concern about Oval Office surveillance. About specific instances, questions about specific instances should be directed to the relevant agencies." So, wait, but that wasn't the question, right? Now, she was asked specifically, hey, does Donald Trump suspect that he is being monitored by the CIA, FBI, or any sort of other agency, like the NSA, perhaps? Dodged the question. I don't know. You gotta ask them if they're actually doing it. But wait, we asked you if the president thinks that way. You're not answering the question. You're dodging the question. Okay. Now, she was also asked on Thursday if Trump's tapes tweet was an effort to get Comey to, quote, tell him the truth about their conversations. Sanders said it was more of about raising the question of doubt in general. She then ended the press briefing before any follow-up questions could be asked. Let's get the fuck out of there. Gone. Gotta go. Look, that's not shady at all, guys. What are you talking about? No, you don't have any tapes. You don't have any evidence that you're being monitored either. Just stop. Stop. Look, even if nothing comes of this whole thing, right, which is very likely because it's hard to get Trump on witness tampering or obstruction of justice over a simple tweet. Now, you might be able to get him on firing Comey, maybe. It's very difficult to do. In fact, you have former federal prosecutor Renato Mariotti saying that, quote, flat out, that the president's tweet was not witness tampering. Quote, no reasonable prosecutor would charge someone for trying to influence someone to tell the truth through mere non-threatening words. No juror would believe that the FBI director could be intimidated by a tweet like that anyway. So look, man, on both sides, a little ridiculous, right? Look, there are no tapes, and, you know, there were no Comey tapes, which is sad because I would have been interested in hearing them. But I kind of hope that there were, but there is not. No evidence of that. And of course, there's no evidence that there is any sort of wiretapping going on in the White House. So let's just drop it. But see, they're not going to. You know why? Because I think this is about distraction. The White House wants to keep you distracted from healthcare, or the giant tax cuts that are coming, or the environmental regulations that have been gutted, or the fact that Donald Trump himself appointed the swamp to his cabinet, and they're right now working nonstop to try to loot the place. So we've got a huge distraction, right? Pure distraction. Now, whether Trump is smart enough to realize that this is hurting him personally, I don't know. But it is giving Paul Ryan and the Republicans enough cover to try to enact their dangerous agenda. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.